Teacher Auden.
My name is Teacher Art.
All right, that's very good.
ART.
Yes, today we're going to make an instructional video in how to handle side-by-side third edition book number one. Art, what is the book all about, and for what level of the year, our age of our students could this book be recommended?
Okay, basically, side-by-side book is a higher version of Let's Go. It's just that we give side-by-side books to students ages 14 to 19 or even adults on different levels. Side-by-side 1 is for students whose level is GLJ 0 and J1. Side-by-side 2 is for level GLJ 2 and 3. Side-by-side 3 is for GLJ 4 and side-by-side 4 is for level 5.
Okay, so what do the students expect to learn from this new improved version of Side by Side? This is third edition. It has all skills program that it integrates conversation practice, reading, writing, and listening. It is fun to use, easy to use format, and we start with chapter one or unit one. Okay. So in every unit, in every chapters of this book, you would start in this section, the vocabulary preview. But before that, make sure that to know your main target, personal information and meeting people. Okay, so for
Yes.
students who are beginners, we use the side-by-side one in aging 14 to 19 years old, or it can be used for beginners for adults, as in zero
Mhm.
level. Okay, so in you, before you start, you should be ready to understand what is your main target. What's your objective after Unit 1? Personal information. The student should know and understand what personal information is and how to communicate or talk in meeting new people. That this is very helpful for daily conversation, especially that our students are new to this language as using English. Okay, so what's the first part?
Yes. And
All right.
okay, vocabulary words at the start of every chapter are very important because it will be very helpful for the students for better understanding. So as much as possible, use only simple terms when teaching.
Okay, so vocabulary preview section is uh, introducing the keywords that you are going to use later on in those exercises that the unit one will be that you're going to have activities. You're using the vocabulary previews. These are the keywords. It has number one, two, three, four, five for level zero or beginner students. Five five words, five keywords must be input to their brains. Okay, so how to teach this section? All right, how would you do that?
As what I said, use simple terms for you to meet halfway. Like you don't use
Mm-hmm.
if they don't know letter, you can just say
Mm-hmm.
how do you say that one? Hangul,
All
Korean
right, that's
characters.
very good.
In Korean, it's Hangul. In English, it's alphabet or letters, like that.
Because in our considering the level of our student, their understanding is limited. There are
Yes.
words that they know is occasional isolated, and they will just follow what they hear, and their speaking skills. There are few phrases, single word utterances, and they have no functional communication ability. So
Yes.
it's better to use simple words. That's right. So teaching the vocabulary preview section is letting them understand what an alphabet is. Okay?
Yes.
So let the student read the word alphabet and point out where are the alphabets. Okay? So make
It's here.
and yes, these are the alphabets. So you try to tell them that there are big letters and small letters using in English language. And to make it lively, Art, what could you advise for the teacher to do to make it more interesting?
Okay, if possible, because there are some students that they don't know, they do know what is the letter, but they don't know the sound. So we'll sing as tutor. We'll sing like A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P
More lively.
Q R S
Okay,
T
clap.
U V W X Y and
With the
Z.
dancing moves? Yeah, you can
Continue
do
the
that.
singing part.
Yes. Yeah,
Yes.
so being a teacher in online, you should be more animated in
Yes.
what you portray to your students. You should give more gestures, especially
Yes.
you are doing the class online. So it's better that you be more lively and smiling with a smiling face, angle your head on the center. Okay, so that your student will be focusing on you. Okay, so then the first vocabulary is the alphabet, and explain to the student that these are the alphabets, and number two, these are the numbers. Okay, so if your student doesn't know it yet, you will have a hard time explaining it. Okay, so find your students' level or find the students' interest, so that
Yes.
you could easily get his or her attention. Okay, so on with number three, there is a picture of a girl. So you can ask your student, what is it on the girl's shirt? What
Mm-hmm.
is it? Oh, name. Okay, you could speak slowly and clearly, loudly, so that your student
Mm-hmm.
would understand you. And you could ask, okay, teacher, my name is. You could do have props like this. Name.
Very good, teacher
That's
Auden.
my name. And you could ask your student, what is your name too? Okay,
Yes.
that is one of the essential part of a personal information that we need to know to uh, to identify each and every one. Okay, so the next important personal information that we need to know about someone is the address.
Yes.
Okay, the address. All right. So some students they would not know what an address is. So, teacher Art, how would you explain to your student in a very simple way what address is?
Address is a name of an exact location.
Hmm.
Like your apartment. Like name of your apartment?
Okay, very good. Name your apartment, and you could ask your student, house. Where's your house?
Yes.
Like that.
Where is your
Okay. So
house?
some students would not understand. Where do you live? Where's your city? Okay.
Yes.
They would understand low beginners house. Okay.
Name
Simple,
of your
straightforward.
house. Yes.
Okay. How about number five? Telephone number and phone number. Okay. How would you explain that, teacher Art, to your student what a phone number or a telephone number is?
Uh, what's telephone number in Korean? Sometimes they don't know this one. They would ask their parents. Telephone?
Mm,
Like this one? Or phone? Number.
okay.
Dial?
All right. So in this case, if the student would ask, "Oh, what's the difference between a telephone number and a cell phone number?" Because these days, Korean technology is really uh, getting into the next level
Yes.
of cell
I
phone,
agree.
phone number, and telephone. So you better have props too, so that they could see it that you have a cell phone and it has different phone number, and a phone number at your house is a different too. It's different too. Okay, so show your student your phone, and this is a cell phone, and the phone at your house is your telephone number, your house phone number.
And some
Okay, so that
students,
those are
some students
yeah.
know this one as smartphone.
Uh, all right.
Yes.
Think of it. They don't know
Cell
telephone,
phones, yes, or telephones.
smartphones.
They know smartphone.
Okay. All right, so those are
And
the three basic personal information that your student needs to know. Make sure that your student, before you move on to the next page or your next topic, you make sure your student understood every vocabulary uh,
yes.
preview in this section. Okay, so let's move on to the next page. Okay, in this page, teacher art, what do we do on this page?
Uh, Here, like, what's your name is the topic. We just integrate what we've learned
Yes.
from here,
All
like
right.
the
Just
vocabulary,
like the
name.
vocabulary.
Yes,
Making
using,
questions and sentences.
yes, making questions that are in here. And you must guide the students when answering. Sentence patterns like, what's your name? My name, and then the name is Maria. You guide
Okay,
them.
so yes, better yet, you use the tools that we have here and make the text bigger and use the whiteboard. My name is and plus a blank space for them to understand. You put your name here. So your complete sentence would be when somebody asks you, what's your name? You should say this. My name is. So you practice. This is the part when you practice to your student answering questions, answering personal
Yes.
questions, and speaking or answering in complete sentence. Okay?
Sentences. Yes.
All right. So the same as with the address, the phone number, and there's new question here. Where you from? Okay,
Like new
not the address,
expressions.
but the city. Where you from?
Yes.
Or country or city? If you are in another country, somebody would ask you, "Where are you from?" It
From.
means from what country, and from what country and city you're from.
Yes.
Okay. So in this section, you need to make sure that your student understand or can apply the personal questions and asking personal information. Okay, these
Yes.
are
So
basic questions that
yes. So basically, this page is the practice part.
yes, another practice for the student to really understand the sentence pattern that you're teaching your student on this unit. Okay,
Role play.
teacher art, what? Yes, role playing, another
Yes.
good technique in.
Way or method to know if your student really understood
Okay, teacher art,
the
how do we
lesson.
do the role play?
Okay, we can get some ideas like role playing, interviewing a famous person.
Mm,
Like here, a famous person can be an actor, a director, an artist, a singer.
okay, you have to make your student understand the instruction. Okay, if your student doesn't understand instruction, you make up addresses, you make up phone numbers, you make up cities. Make your own.
Yes,
Anything goes. Use your imagination as what the instruction says, and let's practice this with not other student but with the teacher. Okay?
yes, you
So
have to be creative.
yes, you can make your student the famous actor if he's a guy and a famous actress if she's a
Yes.
girl. Okay, for example, I'm the reporter student. I'm reporter. Hello. You are an actor, very famous. So, yeah. If your student likes sports, try to think of someone who is very famous that he knows
Park Tae-wan.
in sports. Example, yeah, Park Tae-won, uh, Kim Yuna, yes, Park Ji-sung, those athletes, Korean
Yes.
athletes that are really famous that I'm sure that they know them.
Yes, as much as possible, use Korean people.
Hmm. And then the next example is the president of your country. Don't uh, overdo the questions about their president. Maybe they're not interested in politics because most
Yes.
teenagers they don't care about their president. All right.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
in this section, how to
Moving
say it.
on.
Yes, how to say it section. This is very important. How to say it section is where the student could learn in highlighting communication strategies and having a real life conversation with someone
Yes.
in different situations, such as complimenting, hesitating, and apologizing, and more. The how to say section is teaching the student new expression, fixed question.
Yes.
Example.
Basically new expressions.
Okay, so the situation in this how to say section is meeting people. How or what will you say, and what expression can you use in meeting people? Right? Example, there's a dialogue there, A dialogue, B, A, and how do they talk? Okay, you
Hmm.
practice. How can we practice this dialogue to the student, teacher Art?
Again, how do you?
How could, yes, how to practice the dialogue with the student?
Okay, you can tell your student to read the part A and you can read the part B, and you
Okay.
can make your own dialogue. Like you can continue B again and then A. Like, hello, my name is Teacher Art. How about you?
Okay, that's very good. So the student would answer if he doesn't know. Okay, read letter B. If he doesn't understand that, you put his name beside B. Okay.
Like
Okay,
here.
student, your name. For example, his name is Kevin. Kevin, this part is yours. You read this.
Yes.
Okay, you read this. We change the name.
Yes.
We change the name. I'm Kevin. Nice to
Kevin.
meet you. Okay, so the target expression here is nice to meet you.
Uh-huh. And
The
learning
target
some, and
expression is
sometimes,
nice to meet you.
Teacher Auden, learning some Korean words and expressions can help too. Like
Yes.
when this one, nice to meet you. Teacher, what's nice to meet you? Korean teacher first. Like when you say, nice to meet you is 반갑습니다. Okay, nice to meet you.
Oh. Okay, so your student would know when to say the expression nice to meet you. So now you have teach you have taught your student a good a very good and polite expression after
Hmm.
meeting people.
Yes.
Okay? All right, the next part is the reading part.
Yes, this reading part is just pure reading to check the student's reading skills for pronunciation and intonation enhancement and vocabulary as well.
All right, so in this part, your pronunciation exercises, and if the student is having a hard time reading, you should help and guide them.
Yes.
Okay, this section it provides a model of practicing the students' fluency, and if they read word by word or they can read my name is David Carter, if they have fluency, continue practice that. Okay, if your student is quite aggressive or enthusiastic or very eager. He wants to say something and he can't encourage your student. Okay, what way? In reading part, you can encourage your student to speak, asking him, "Do you know where are they? Do you know where they are, or what's this place? Where are they? What happened here?" Like that. If oh, teacher, policewoman, police. Oh, very bad driver, like that. There are students who are very eager to learn and to talk about the pictures that they see,
Yes.
especially teenagers. And this is a very common situation in every teenagers having stomachache, right? Where do you go if you have stomachache? You, you could ask personal question about your student. Do you usually have stomachache? Do you always have that? You always feel? Okay, so you can talk about when or how many times that does your student have stomachache. All right.
Hmm.
The next part is the reading checkup as well as the vocab checkup. If they can still remember what name, address, phone number, apartment number, and social security number, email address, if they still remember
Remember
each
the
of
meaning.
them.
Yes.
Yes. So try to guide your student. If they are having a hard time, try to guide. Okay, look for a name in this part. Look for an address in this part.
Sometimes you
Or
can give them clues too. Clues.
yes. Okay, so most teenagers would not understand the social security number, so don't go deeper in that. and just tell them that you will know this part when you get older, because this
Okay.
is not in their system yet. They're still teenagers. They don't have the social security number. Okay, the listening
Yes.
part is actually this is for audio programs. The student books, they have the author of this book designed the listening part to serve as a student speaking partner, but in audio form. You can play it in a CD-ROM. Yes, if you are self-studying with a teacher. Okay, so I suggest skip this part, so the listening part, because we don't have audio programs for this listening exercises. All right, so the next section is the interview spelling names. Okay, in this part, you could practice what teacher art. What could we practice in this part?
If they already know the letters in here, where is it? Here. They can
Okay.
interview some friends or classmates and they can ask their last name and first name. Here, put it here.
Okay. So in case of your students, Korean students, they have one last name, example Kim, Park, Lee. All right. So you can, if they know how to write it in English alphabet, you could teach them how to spell it and the first
Yes.
name too, and as well as the teacher's last name and first name. For example, there, number one, Kim, the first name, Jong Yoon. Okay, so how do you spell that? Let the student spell these names. Okay, how do you spell that? Uh, KIMJONGHYUN. So make your students spell their Korean names and English name
Mm-hmm.
as well. Okay, so this interview section is for spelling test or for question, how do you spell that name?
Okay.
All right, so in the pronunciation part, pronunciation exercises, as you can see here, the instruction is linked sounds. Okay, in this part, we are teaching our student to link the sounds between the name and the be verb is. Okay, in this section, uh, we practice the pronunciation, the stress, and the intonation in a sentence. All right, for example, if your student would read this as my name
My
is,
name is Maria.
okay, so try to teach and guide your student how to read it. My name is linked
My name
sound.
is.
My name
Yes. My
is
address
Maria.
is.
My address is. My apartment number is. Okay, don't forget the sound, the pronunciation of your is. Okay, is to I Z.
Z. Yes.
My name is. Okay, my address is 9 River Street. My phone number is 9412238. All right, and then for the
Yes.
next section is the writing part. In this section, what can we do? And how do we teach our student? Teacher?
We just have to let them answer this part. Like my name is, and then
Okay.
they give their answers. Or sometimes you can give this one as their homework.
Mm-hmm. If you can't reach the time, you can give this as a homework that they have to write something about them, about
Yes.
about your target topic, personal information, and they have to recite it. You could do that. They could do homework to give homework to your student to fill in these blanks and recite it in our next class. Okay, so that and help them speak fluently. My address is, my phone number is, I'm from Korea. In this part, the
Okay.
writing section is helping your student understand what they've read and what they're writing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in
And
every chapter, there is a summary that you need to follow up your student about your previous lessons, your previous
mm-hmm.
unit. Before you move on to the next page or the next unit, try to do a summary about the previous lesson or unit.
Yes.
Okay, so what did you learn? What did you learn in this in unit one? Okay, for example, this is another day. For example, this is the next day or second day for the student. So in making your student remember what you have learned previously, you could do this chapter summary section. They would remember the key vocabulary for personal information and
Yes.
most importantly, meeting people expressions. Nice to meet you. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, and then you move on to the next unit. The same process that we did from this
First chapter.
first unit, and then the first is so first process the first, what do you call that, step by step, and techniques that you could do the same as in chapters 1 and so on and 2 and so
Yes.
on. And one interesting section in side by side, they have this the Gazette the Gazette magazine style pages. Okay, uh, the Gazette magazine style pages, it offers feature articles, fact lives, vocabulary expansion here, and there are also topics about uh, uh, email exchanges and humorous cartoons for role playing. They have this, and this one is greetings around the world. This is like a cross-cultural topic, and how do people greet in other countries. This part is a better way to ease up your students' uh, your students' interest in using side by side. Okay, so in after every three units, you will have the Gazette magazine style pages. Every three or
Okay.
four. All right, and then you move on to the next unit. All right, so to wrap it up, what I love about this book is that it really gets down to the basics of speaking English and does so in a systematic manner. Yes, the teacher the teacher must need to know and be ready to expand from the book and to make or create other activities to bring the language into life. Because if you don't have your teaching techniques and more interesting and lively way of teaching, you will not get the students' interest, and then the students will get bored.
Yes.
Okay, so make sure that you have a great supplement of grammar books.
Grammar skills. Yes.
Yes. This is to expand your students' ability to improve their English skills. Okay, so I hope that you will be able to teach this book accordingly because it has different components of English acquisition and as well as your ability to teach your student in different levels and different attitudes and ages.
Yes.
Okay, all right, that's it. Let's wrap it up. And again, this is Teacher Alden
And this is
from
Teacher Art.
Talk Station. From Talk Station. Alright, this is a good instructional video for the book Side by Side, third edition. Side by Side book number 1. Alright,
Yes.
peace out.
That's a wrap. Bye bye.